Hey everyone, if you don't absolutely hate Minions, but you do like Lego, stick around in this video because you may find that you actually like this set here better than you may expect. It's the brick-built Minions and their lair. Of course, if you do hate Minions, then there's absolutely no reason that you should have clicked on this video in the first place. What you get here are 3 mini Minions, which are roughly scaled similar to minifigs, but not scaled to minifigs. They're way too big for them. But then you also get these 2 brick-built large Minions, and the ability to convert one of them into a third. You cannot have 3 brick-built Minions out of this set built at one time with the parts from a single set, but you can convert back and forth, and we'll show you just a little bit about that. These are fully built all the way around, so there's a smooth surface all the way around. They're not open around the back by default or anything like that. And to me, just on first impression, I think they look pretty respectable. They're fairly round, though they are in cross-section rounded corner squares. But I feel like, if anything, that might actually connect to the Lego look pretty well. And the curvature around the sides, I think, is pretty good. And they've got their overalls on, which is depicted pretty well here. I personally think, and just generally speaking, again, on first impression, these don't disappoint. Again, unless you absolutely hate Minions and hate the fact that Lego did anything Minions related in the first place. For a closer look, let's start with the smaller of the 2 default brick-built Minions. This is Stuart, and for articulation, you're able to move the arms up and down. The wrists have ball joints on them, so you can bring those out, kind of rotate them around, and also they have 2 regular fingers and a thumb each, so you can do like a thumbs up expression like that. You can also have the palm open and potentially put something in there. They've got anti-studs that are available, that are exposed there. The backs of the finger nails, if you will, fingernail areas are covered up with the half-rounded tiles on the ends. You can't really do anything, you don't want to do anything with the posing of the feet and legs. I mean, the legs don't move at all. The feet can just rotate back and forth a little bit. And then the eye socket can be rotated around freely. The entire gray bit that you see here, that's all one piece. It's a brand new design, which is interesting, and it's not built up at all. And it's a nice piece, and it's a good color to get it in if you're just looking for parts, because it's fairly neutral. That is a printed eye inside of there. Of course, you can also rotate that itself. And then this is a printed face, just a little, what is that, a 1x4x2 panel piece that is printed on one side. It has some hair on the top. I hate inserting those pieces because they're slightly rubbery and they don't like to cooperate very much, but it is what it is, and you do it one time and then you're done. That's about it for like the exterior, but then look at this. Haha! The name of the set references their lair, and this is part of the lair, the Minions lair for the minifigs. So this is Stuart's segment of it. This is actually his bedroom area here, because there's a pull-down bed that's folded up into the wall by default. He's got some speakers on the side that you can see there, and then a bunch of other little details. So he's got some, some panels to check in on some of the evil stuff that's going on. He can play darts, I'm assuming, or maybe that's for an actual crossbow, so he can work on his techniques. He can work on his combat. There are a lot of stickers in this set, I will say that. Quite a number of them for the size of what you build here. Boomerang in a tan color, that's useful. Some more panel things off to the side. And he's also got a TV with a VCR in it. It's old school, but does the trick. And they also have the control here that will turn the eye. So you can just imagine that there are minions inside of here potentially controlling this larger one. We'll have to see how that relates to anything in the movie, if it does at all, for the rise of Gru. But I like the idea. A lot of this is unnecessary stuff. As a matter of fact, most of it is unnecessary, but it's well implemented, and I feel like it adds a lot to the set. It makes it a lot more charming, more usable, inspires imagination a lot more than just a large brick-built figure. Kevin is pretty much the same thing. The general build of him is using the same parts and the same techniques. He's just taller, of course, and he has 2 eyes rather than 1. Also, this one has something a little bit different done for the eyes, because those are printed 3 stud by 3 stud flat tiles, round flat tiles in white, and they're printed, so they're not discs or dish pieces at all. It's another new piece for 2020. And then they also build up the goggles for the eye sockets just a little bit with some plates. And there are also some other pieces that are included in here you can just barely see, but really interesting to me was the introduction of a new plate form of a corner macaroni. You can see it here. It's a 3x3 macaroni plate, and I showed that during the build. When I open this up, I can actually show you that a little bit better. On the underside here, just real quick, you can see one in blue. So that's what that piece is, and it will accept in its inside corner a 1x1 quarter round tile, and then you can just fill up the rest of the space. So it's not fully round on the inside. It just has that one stud radius to the inside. It's interesting and it's useful. Kevin's corner of the lair is taller because the brick-built figure is taller, so there's more stuff to be seen in here. Looks like he's got a washing machine there, and he's got a banana, of course. He's got a wrench, lots and lots of displays up there. Again, all stickers. More consoles, recording device, more consoles, panels. He can do some firefighting, crowbar. He's got like a cork board set up there, I think. And then also, you see the gears this time for the eyes. It's because, again, you have one single knob to turn the eye, but he has two eyes, so they have one that is linking the two together. So these go at the exact same time, and notice how the highlights stay roughly in the center. The highlights are just barely off center, and that makes for an interesting little effect. It's a little something unexpected. However, the designer did a great thing here, not forcing you to align the gears perfectly when you build this. You can still move the eyes independently. So if you want to bring the eyes together like this to be focusing on something closer, to make them look a little bit derpier, or if you want them to be looking off to the side, you can do that. You know, you have those options in addition to being able to turn them linked at the same time. So you can look kind of googly-eyed like that. So that's just all good. That's all just well done. Also, I very much appreciate that hair piece. It's so much better than putting in a bunch of little barb pieces. That's just a flower stem, a 6-ended flower stem in black. On the back of the box, they show you a bob option, which uses a lot of pieces from Kevin and also a few additional ones that I'll show you momentarily in the spares. And one of the different pieces is one of the eyes. Another of the different pieces is the face. So 2 additional printed pieces, and you can see this is just shorter, but they also do change the interior design quite completely for the sake of Bob. So it has different details in there, quite a bit. You know, it's a pretty thorough transformation. I am just sorry that I didn't think ahead well enough. I didn't buy 2 of this set so that I could build Bob at the same time. But you see all of the details here just in this picture and this picture. But in order to get another one of these, I would need to order it from Lego, and then I'd have to delay the review by like another week, and I'm just not going to do that. So there you go. That's what Bob looks like. So here are all the pieces that are left over after doing the default build. But you can see that there are plenty of minifig accessories that are left here. I especially appreciate the inclusion of these extra little minifig scaled Minions eyes. Speaking of the minifigures, or I guess mini Minions, I think Lego did a pretty decent job with these, and they do include all 3 of these in the set, regardless of what way you want to go between Kevin and Bob for your second brick-built Minion build. So Stuart on the left, Kevin in the middle, and Kung Fu Bob on the right. These are using a bunch of new pieces. The arms are new. They're not the same short arms that they've used before. These are shorter still and a little bit more straight. They have Technic pin ends on them, so they're still able to rotate in there. They have a lot of friction. The hands are standard minifig hands, so they will hold anything bar-sized and shaped. And they can be rotated around. And the feet do not move, so they don't rotate from side to side. Interestingly, the lower bodies are triple molded. So for instance, looking at Stuart over on the left, the white of the feet, or the shoes, is plastic. And then the royal blue color, the light royal blue color, the main color of the body there, is a different color of plastic. And then they top it off with yellow. So the tops of the studs over here are actually yellow. And they have a weird interface where you can see the yellow color came behind the print here, and it makes it a little bit awkward, just because, yeah, it's a different color. So that takes away a little bit from the look of this one, and also Bob over on the far right. But Bob is a little bit better because the colors just go together, where they printed to get the little notch in there and to have his shirt or his jumpsuit come up higher. Really good printing on these otherwise, just generally speaking. And the heads are also dual molded, or the upper body parts are dual molded, with the black being a plastic, and that's embedded in there. You can rotate the eyes because they're just round tiles. This is a nice little tuft piece. It just has a bar-sized base. It'll fit into the top of the open studs on the tops of these. And Stuart also has print on the top. I mean, there's so much that they did for these little figures. They really tried to do justice to them without going 100% outside of the Lego system standard, and trying to keep something minifig related with them. They at least got the hands there, and the arms can be interchanged for folks who want to do custom stuff still. So overall, I'm very satisfied, and I'm almost pleasantly surprised by how much they did to make these right. I almost forgot to show you the spent sticker sheet, which also does include 3 more stickers that are specific to Bob down there at the bottom. The price for this set is $50 US, 50. I'm not gonna lie, that feels like a lot to me. Feels like too much to me for the amount of stuff that I see sitting here in front of me, or standing here in front of me. But then, when I consider the interior detail, it helps. There's definitely more value than meets the eye there. And then when I also consider the extra parts that they include in the set, which you need to consider when thinking about value, even if you don't build that other version, still those parts are included. That helps a little bit. And then considering the number of new molds and specialized prints here and the quality of the figures, that helps as well. So all the things to consider help me out with my perception of value here. Overall, I mean, it's a really good set, I think. So if you think that it's worth it, then I think you're going to enjoy it, and I think you're going to be happy with the results that you get. If you think that this is a bit overpriced for what you get here, even considering all of those things, I completely understand that. I still don't feel 100% happy with the $50 price point. I wish it was more like 40, then I would have no problems whatsoever with it, but it's not outrageous. It's not out of the range. And, that's all just personal opinion. I will point out, I'm not sure if you noticed when we were looking up closer, but there are some color differences between the yellows on some of the different parts, which is stuff that we don't like to see, given that Lego is so expensive. We're willing to pay, we Lego fans generally, are willing to pay premium prices for these pieces of plastic because they're really good pieces of plastic. But when one yellow is clearly more greenish and less saturated than another yellow, and it's supposed to be the exact same color, it's not a good look. So Lego definitely, clearly, and I've been seeing this more and more, and thus I've been calling it out more and more, has slipped in their quality and their consistency from batch to batch on their plastic. And if there's anything that they need to get right consistently, it's the plastic. So that still needs to be fixed, and they still haven't fixed it yet. And I'm going to keep talking about that, even if it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse. It's a dead horse that shouldn't be dead. It should be kicking and running a nice race for our enjoyment. Anyway, terrible. Yeah, I know. But if you want to see the builds for these, I actually did a live build for this with chat on this channel. You can find it in my news and vlogs and streams playlist. So no pure build for this one in particular. It was just a little experiment based on stuff that a lot of people have asked me to try. Not something that I'll be doing for everything in the future, but something that I will continue to experiment with time to time. However, I do have just a plain, regular, and very normal speed build for this that I gathered from the live build footage, and that's just in its usual place over on the JANG Build channel, and it's in its normal format as well. So check out one of those if you'd like to see more about how these went together. And I hope that you enjoyed this, whether you like Minions or not. Hope that you got something useful and entertaining or informative from this video. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you again very soon.